news just came through about Kenyan Drake. Out of the boot, he says it's no concern. He'll be ready to go for week 1. So we got to plan for Kenyan Drake this time too.
You know how many yards per carry Kenyan Drake averaged against the Niners last season? 5.7.
I just watched the game. I just watched it, and it was like 10, 7, 5, 10, 7, 7, 7.
Yeah.
Like every time he touched the ball. Every time.
So I got a lot to say about that match. It's gonna be. I can't wait for that game. It's gonna be a great game.
It's so interesting.
7 days.
Like it's like watching the game again. I'm just like, oh my god! Like so, like you remember, Kyle Juszczyk didn't play in that game. It's all about who's available at those times. That also swings the games one way or the other. This one I really can't wait to like get it.
Remember, Kittle got hurt in the first game. He took the knee to the helmet and played.
He played on one leg. Kittle played on one leg. Both tackles were not there. Juke wasn't there. D4 wasn't there.
Still threw for like 40 yards, right?
4-play game.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say, what I saw that was really impressive at the end of that game, because it was just Coleman and Breida in the backfield for that game. When they iced the game, Jimmy made a 3rd down. Then Coleman finished the game, and I was like, "Ha, Grant!"
Your face.
Yeah, I was like, "Your face, Grant." I was like, "Look at that! 30 yards, close the game out. Boom."
Yeah.
You know what Evan Coleman rushed for against the Cardinals last year?
Don't say it.
37 yards in 2 games. Hold on though. Raheem Mostert, 11 yards in 2 games. This Cardinals team now they can only defend.
Hey, hold on. Let's put some context to this.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's put some context to this. Both tackles were gone. Juszczyk wasn't there. Kittle was on one leg. Okay, so we got to put some context to that. All right.
And they played like twice in 2 weeks. It was like a 14-day span between the games. So it was like back-to-back. Yeah,
it was back to back. Yeah, so I just wanted to put some context to that and also Justin Skule or Brunskill is not Trent Williams. Okay?
No,
Joe Staley is not Trent Williams, right? So I think it's going to look a lot different this year.
Why did the Cardinals average 6 yards a carry against the Niners last year? What was that?
That was going to be my point too. All right, guys, look. So like for the people, I don't want to get too technical, but here's the main reason that you spread people out with the 4 receivers, right? Is because there's no one in the middle, right? But what they were doing when they were handing the ball off to Kenyan Drake is they're running these outside zones, but it's like there's no one in the middle to really get there and stop. He's making people miss. Like he just looked dynamic. It's like as soon as he got there, as soon as he gets away from the Dolphins, all of a sudden he turns into the Kenyan Drake that was the 3rd round pick from Alabama.
Yeah,
about that offense, like the way that he fits there, they identified that. They brought him in. Remember that first game with Kenyan Drake, he had not played a down with them, not a down, and he was dominant. Like he was ripping off 7 and 10 yard runs every time he touched the ball.
You bring up a good point too about the 4 wide receivers. The Niners aren't going to be in their base defense at any point in this game, not once. That's not what they play.
Nickel.
They're going to be a nickel and dime the entire game.
Nickel's the new base.
You're not going to see much Dre Greenlaw. You may not see much Javon Kinlaw. It'll be interesting.
Well, we're going to see what Kenyan Drake do on Sunday. We're going to see.
I don't mean to hype him up. Like, again, guys, like when on Twitter, like last night I posted, look, I can say that Kyler Murray's good and that the Cardinals are a problem and the 49ers are better. Both can be true. Like people send me comments like, nah, you can't give any respect to anybody. Guys, let's talk football. Like, like just because we're fans of the team, let's talk football. Like, let's talk it the way that, we know this team is better, but let's give credit and let's also give respect to teams that, have things that we should be afraid of.
It seems to me that last year the Niners had a great defense, but the thing that gave them trouble was a mobile quarterback. And what they could do, especially in the run game, what they could shut down the running back or the quarterback, but usually not both, for whatever reason. So that's, to me, a big reason why they couldn't stop the Cardinals on the ground. They beat the Cardinals twice because Jimmy Garoppolo was great in those games. But Kyler Murray was really good in those games too. Yeah. His rating was 114. His quarterback, his completion percentage was 72, and he did this as a rookie without DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. This is going to be a game, guys. It's going to be a high-scoring, close game. It's going to be great. I cannot.
Yeah. The last thing too, like, because I saw people saying that, look at his numbers before the Isabella touchdown, which was clearly a coverage breakdown. Like that was a complete coverage breakdown.
Clearly it was.
They were just going in, and Isabella's too fast for who was guarding him. But Kyler Murray had a lot of drops in that game too. That's the other thing. Like I like that also gives you a little bit of context because somebody was like, he only had like this amount of yards. I watched him lay balls into people's hands and they dropped him. Like, and that throw to Isabella, he couldn't have walked it to him any better. Like, and like the way that throw was with him going towards the sideline, he couldn't have handed him the ball better than the way he placed it. That's what you need to be afraid of.